What's up, everyone? Lord Ryujin back again this week talking about Wii Sports Club. Now, out of all the topics that I could have talked about, I decided to just go on a little bit of a rant about this because I'm a little bit curious about it as well as a little bit frustrated about it. I have a little bit of both ends of the spectrum, so to speak. One reason why I like it is because of the online, and that's about the only thing that it has going for it, really, depending upon how Nintendo does it. And what I mean by this is that not enough information is out about Wii Sports Club yet for me to really reach a definitive decision about it, because it really depends upon what Nintendo wants to do with it. You know, are we talking about releasing the same four games that Wii Sports had on the Wii, and just charging $60 for it because it's high definition, when you can really honestly spend about maybe 10, 15 bucks and just get the original Wii Sports and play it on your Wii U anyway? So there's no point in spending 60 bucks, because that is dumb, at least to me. Now, to some people, the option of being able to play online makes it worth $45 more than the original. Go figure. So it really just depends upon what they want to do with it. Now, my understanding, of course, based upon the Nintendo Direct that I saw of it, is that it's going to be an online game, and it looks like you spend $2.99 per game. Now that, let me tell you, if that's what they do, that has a lot of potential. And here's why, and try to hear me out on this, because it's probably going to be a little bit convoluted, a little nonsensical, because I'm kind of just going off the top of my head with this. So just be patient. Now, the reason why I think this would be a good idea is because it really depends upon what DLC they have to offer with it. Are they just going to give you, again, just the main four games that came out with Wii Sports? Or are they going to try to add more? They're going to try to add, say, the resort titles. Or they're going to try to come out with new sports. Now, I've always thought that Nintendo should have just gone back to the basics, like back in the old days with the Atari and the Nintendo and stuff, where games were games. You bought a football game, you bought a golf game, you bought a hockey game, you bought, bowling game, pinball game, whatever. They were all exclusive to one another. They weren't included in a single packet like what Wii Sports offered. But they can do something similar with this. They can easily come out with Wii Sports Club and say, like, charge $3 just for bowling. And if that's all that I want is bowling, I spend $3 and I get what I want. But if they decide they want to come out with, like, a club version of pinball, a club version of golf, a club version of that little jet ski game that was on Resort, that has a lot of potential to me. Because then I can mix and match. I can take the titles and I can literally do whatever I want. Going off a little bit of a side tangent, this is something that I've wanted them to do for a long time. Not just Nintendo, just game developers in period. Good example is like when Guitar Hero came out for the PS3. I was very disappointed that they did not allow you to be able to mix your own tracks, because there was a game that came out for the PS2 which I want to say it was called Dance Central, but I don't think that's what it was called. It basically allowed you to take your own games, take the game, and take any CD that you wanted to, pop it into your PS2, take any track from it, or even though the whole album if you wanted to, and turn it into a DDR track. And I bought it because that was the only thing attractive to me about DDR, because I always hated the restrictions of, hey, dance to this song that you've never heard, but it was like #1 in Europe for like a day. And here's a DJ remixing it that you've never heard of. You never heard the song, never heard of this DJ, never heard. So I have no reason to dance to this. I don't care. Something that always attracted me about the Rock Band, Guitar Hero games was that there was songs on there that I actually wanted to play. Songs that I knew, that I heard on the radio. Songs that I knew, seen videos for, that I wanted to try and play on the guitar. And I know that it wasn't the same thing as actually playing a guitar, but it was still fun. But when the 360 and the PS3 started to come out with their own like Rock Band games or whatever, I was surprised that they didn't try to do the same thing. Like they gave you 3 to 5 tracks that the developers did as a starter, and then you could go in and any song that was on the hard drive that you put on like your PS3 hard drive, for an example, you could turn into a Guitar Hero song and play it. I'm surprised they didn't do that, honestly. I mean, I know that there was a PC game that did that, but I really was surprised that they never did that. At least to my knowledge, I got out of Guitar Hero a long time ago after like Rock the 80s because I started to see the downward trend that it was taking, and of course it did. But getting back on track, that's sort of what I'm seeing with Nintendo, with the possibilities with this, is if they decide to, let's just say, offer $3 for each sports game that you buy. That really gives you that same option. You can come out with the sports that you want to play rather than here's 10 Wii Sports games that we developed and we think you'll like. And you might only maybe play 2 or 3 of them. So you really get that option, you see? Like if all I want is bowling, like I said earlier, I spend $3. But if I also want golf, that's $6. If I want to buy all 4 of the games that were on the original Wii Sports, that's only $12. And that's probably the cost of getting the original Wii Sports anyway. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more, depending upon where you get it. So that's reasonable. Spending $12 for high definition online versions of Wii Sports? Sure. But if they're going to try and cram it all together into a high definition disc, sell it physically for $50-$60, I don't think that is worth it. So it really depends upon what Nintendo does with it. Not enough information is released about it right now. My understanding, based upon what I saw of the video, is that there's some kind of like an online pass that you can buy that gives you exclusive access to I think all of them for a day or two. I think that's kind of dumb. I think Nintendo's focusing a little bit too much on online at this point. They're trying to do the catch-up game and try to offer like exclusive passes and stuff like that, and that's something they've never done, and I hope that they never do, because I really don't think that people are going to buy that. I really don't think that people that play Nintendo games go to Nintendo for that. It's okay to offer it as DLC, to go ahead and say, you know, you download Wii Sports Club and you get no games with it, or maybe we give you 1 game for free. You know, like let's suppose that they just give you bowling and it's just a downright $3 charge that you pay. You get that, it's yours, and then anything else you want to buy is another $3. Sort of similar to what they did with the Street Pass games that came out for the 3DS a little while ago, and how you could either buy each game individually. So if you only wanted that little Ghost Tower game, that's all you could get. That's all you could buy. That's all that you wanted, then that's it. But if you wanted all of them, then maybe you could buy like all 4 of them for like a discounted price. I really think something like that would work best for Wii Sports Club. I really am excited about the online part of it, but considering the fact that most of my friends just come over, even back when I did have the original Wii Sports, all they would do is come over to my house just to play bowling. I really don't see the point in investing $60 just to be able to play bowling in high definition, and my friends come over to my house to play bowling. I can just buy Wii Sports for way less. So it really depends upon what Nintendo does with it. If you do discover any information, please feel free to comment about it, send a link to it, however you want to do it. And I'll hopefully try to do a follow-up video on this as more information comes out. But just based upon what I understand of it right now, I'm not too big of a fan of it. I really hope that Nintendo does go down the DLC route, because I think releasing it physically is going to be stupid. At least for me. And trying to like say, well, you can get access to all of them for like $5 a day or for like a week or something. I think that that's dumb also. Again, that's just me. I really do think that they just need to go the DLC route and just offer $3 per sport, and that way you can choose. And this also gives you the option. Again, like I said, you can come out with a pinball one. You can come out with a jet ski one. You can keep coming out with sport after sport after sport. You don't have to worry about doing a follow-up disc like what they did with Wii Sports Resort. You really do have the option to just go in and come out with these sports, and if later on there's some kind of a better improved gameplay option, you can just patch it. You don't have to worry about coming out with another disc. You don't have to worry about any of that. It really can just solve itself. It seems like it's the best option in my book. But I'm going around in circles now. I feel like I've gone way overboard. I feel like I've gone around in a big circle again, as I always do, I know. And I think that I've elaborated pretty well. So make sure that you leave your thoughts on the comment. Do you think that it would be best if they just did it as DLC? Do you want to see it as a physical disc? And explain why. I kind of understand, again, why the physical, because I've already gone and done a couple of narrations about why I prefer physical. But I think that in this case, the option to mix and match the sports that you want, especially if you only have a group of friends that all you want to do is get online and do tennis, then I don't see the option to just buy tennis as a bad thing. You know, instead of being forced to have 4 or 5 games and all you're going to do is just play tennis. But that's my rant for now, guys. Lord Ryujin, as always, thanks for listening, guys. Like, subscribe, comment. Either way, thanks for the support and listening for this week. Join me again next week where I have another topic for you. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's all I got for now. Thanks for listening. See you next week.